Hello there and welcome. In this video, I want to look at those aspects of retirement life that scares retirees and would-be retirees, those who are approaching retirement. You see, many people who are close to retirement actually look forward to that day when they will have their time back and cease to have to wake up early, whether they like it or not, and rush off to work. For such people, retirement means freedom from the hectic hustle and bustle, of life, which is work. And yet, for some others who are also approaching retirement or are already retired, there are some things they think about that give them anxiety. Retirement life for them is filled with many uncertainties and unknowns, and they feel overwhelmed and scared just by thinking about retirement. Thank goodness, some of these fears, about life in retirement are actually within our control, and some of them actually have no basis. More than what we realize, some of these fears actually can be tackled. That is, if we face these fears, with the mindset of tackling them. So, what are these aspects of retirement life that scares retirees or those about to be retired? Let us take a look. One most frequently mentioned fears, of retirees or those about to be retired is the fear of running out of funds, the fear of lack of funds. This fear is actually valid. How do you live without money? It's hard. So many of them are afraid, as they approach retirement, that they will have no money to live in retirement. And the reason, for this fear is that there are many people who are about to retire or who are already retired who have no savings, not a savings, no money in their account at the point where they retire. Or some of them just have the last salary that they were paid at the time, the month they disengage from service, and that's all they have. And their hope for money with which to live, in their retirement years is actually the entitlement that they expect, from their employers. That is the gratuity and then the monthly pension that drops, into their account. That is what, they plan to live on. And the fear they have is because this money may not be paid promptly as it should. And so they fear that they will enter retirement without money to live on, and with no savings to give them, to keep them going as they enter retirement, aside that monthly pension and the gratuity that they expect. Any form of delay, any default in that payment, is a cause for concern for them. Who will not worry about that? Even a change in the system or change in government, it could affect the flow of that expected gratuity. It could cause a delay in the payment. It could even cause a suspension of their monthly, pension that they expect to live on in their retirement years. And because they are not in control of this payment, we see how many of them, go on the streets protesting delay in payment. It still didn't change anything, so they have no control over the payment. So their fears are justified. Now, another fear of retirees is the fear of declining health. We all know the risk of health, we know that the risk of health issues increases, as we age. So getting old is not an easy life. And then an aging senior who has health challenges, is truly worried. Yes, because we know that everyone do fall ill, at one point or the other in their lives, but one needs to avoid getting ill to the point of being hospitalized if you live in a place like Nigeria, especially the elderly. Knowing, the way our healthcare system is, you pay for everything when you get to the hospitals. So it's always better to prevent, being sick than to get to the point where you have to be hospitalized. Do whatever it is that you can to protect your health, and then avoid falling ill. As far as health is concerned, there are certain aspects, of our health, that we can control, and there are certain aspects we cannot control. For instance, we can control our environment. We can control, our lifestyle, what we eat, how we eat them, when we eat. We can control our behavior too. Do you smoke? Do you do certain things that affect your health negatively? Then there are certain areas that we know we cannot control, like we cannot control our genetics. So if we focus more on those factors that we can control, then we'll be able to minimize our health challenge. And then we should stop worrying about the ones that we cannot control, because there's really nothing you can do about it. And worrying does not make it better. Worrying does not improve things. Worrying is not a solution. In fact, it will even affect your health more. Another area of concern, for the elderly or those approaching retirement is the fear of slowing down or the fear of declining abilities. Many people worry about not being able to move around as much, as they used to as they go older. They fear that they won't be able to continue, their favorite activities. Favorite activities as simple as, visiting places, going on vacation, or even keeping up with everyday tasks, in and around the home. Because there are some people who are not able to do that as they grow old. And then there's the fear of cognitive decline. They worry about being less mentally active, and so on. Then mobility, which is the ability to move or walk freely and easily, is critical for functioning well and living independently. So as we age, we may experience changes in our mobility, and this change includes how we walk, our balance, and our physical strength. A lot of physical activity or lack of exercise can make it more likely that the person will have loss of mobility as they age. Like sitting down too much has been found to affect our health. So if you spend an average of say between 9 and 13 hours in a day sitting down, there's a need for you to change that. We should make it a habit to involve ourselves in enough physical activity, and spend less time sitting down daily. And we are tempted to do this when we watch TV a lot, or we like to read a novel. You are reading an interesting novel, you are carried away, and for hours you are just in one position. This is not good, for the elderly. The rate of muscle loss is influenced by the amount of regular exercise, or that's, I'm talking about physical exercise now, the physical, activity that people do throughout, their lives. So you need to involve yourself in more physical exercise. Walking is an exercise. As simple as that may look, you are exercising, your muscles, your joints. And then as for cognitive decline, one of the most effective ways to stave off cognitive decline and dementia is to keep your mind active. Like keep reading, do puzzles, keep learning new things, exercise your brain. You stimulate your senses by this learning new way of doing things, like learning how to play piano, learning how to play the golf, learning new recipes in cooking, baking. There's no shortage of ways to use your brain, and they can be fun, as well. Staying mentally active during retirement keeps your brain healthy, and at the same time it fights boredom because you are busy. You keep your brain busy, and a healthy brain can help keep the rest of you in a better shape, improving your overall function. So along with exercise, mental stimulation is one of the best preventive medicines around. Okay, then another fear is the fear of losing social ties and friendships. That's friendship from place of work. When people are retired, usually your friends are either still working or they have retired and relocated, so there's no meeting place anymore. So those in this category most likely have all their friends in the workplace. So if you have a very tight schedule, for example, there's hardly time to socialize. So the friends that you have over time, the friends that you now keep, are the ones that you have in your workplace. So when retirement come knocking, they worry that they will lose their workplace friends. And this fear is valid because your workplace friends may still either be busy with work or have relocated because they are retired. And then there's the fear of identity theft. Everyone is at risk of losing their money, of course. We know how they work. They give you a phone call asking you for your details of your ATM, your bank account, password, that they are the staff of the bank where you keep your money. So they want the details of your information for whatever reason, and they try to extract vital information from you in order to have access to your account. So many people have experienced this, and the elderly are especially vulnerable because they don't know much about technology, and this can be really serious. I mean, the identity theft can have serious financial problem for retirees, because many have been known to lose all their savings to scammers. So many seniors do not have adequate information about how to secure their money in their bank. So it bothers them that someone could devise a means to steal their savings. I know a number of retirees who were reluctant to even get ATM cards. They refused until they were forced by their bank. It was not compulsory. And some of them, when they forced them to take ATM, they will obtain it, but they never use it. In fact, some of them destroyed the ATM. And then they will rather go to the bank to collect money rather than using the online app or their ATM. In fact, I know someone who visits the bank once a month. She withdraws the cash that she will need for the whole month rather than using her ATM to withdraw money because she has destroyed the ATM card. And this was after she got a phone call from a scammer who asked her for her banking information that resulted in her almost losing her money. Some people, as a result of inadequate information about how online banking works, they are now reluctant. If any information about bank they don't want to release, not even their account number, because they fear that by just that action alone, their money could be stolen from their bank. That, of course, is not correct, but that is the fear of some of them, and that is why they resist online banking. And then there's another fear of the elderly and retirees. That's the fear of loneliness and depression. Seniors who are separated, divorced, or have already lost a spouse may look at retirement years as lonely years, so it scares them. With their children all grown up and living on their own, the workplace, seem to be the only place where they have company, because they enjoy the company of co-workers. Now, when they retire, there's no workplace to go to anymore. They stay at home all day, and there's hardly anybody at home. Everybody's busy, in the morning everybody leaves the home. Even children are living with you. They still go to work or they go to school, so you are alone at home. So being alone scares them. That they'll be lonely eventually when everybody leaves home. And this is especially true among those, who hardly socialize when they were still working. They fear that they will be lonely, when they disengage from work. And the loneliness can lead to increased risk of depression, If you have any of these fears that I've just talked about, you need to start taking steps to ease your anxiety about retirement life. What you need to do is quite simple, and that is to plan, you prepare, and then you seek knowledge. Face your fears up front and be well prepared before you retire. Knowledge and preparation are the weapons that will help you to slay your fears of retirement. It is never too late or too early to start making these preparations. You will be surprised at the lack of knowledge that may be at the root of many of these your fears. If you will just face it head on, acquire knowledge about that particular fear that you have, and start to take action. Like that retiree who refused to give her account number, for fear of losing her money. If only she was informed, enough that just giving out your account number is not enough for someone to take, your money from your account to the bank. That they need other information. And if you know the other information that they need to take your money in the bank, those are the information you were told. And then you get to understand how, online banking works. With that knowledge that you already have, you save yourself time of having to visit the bank each time you need money, or you want to give somebody money. You have to go to the bank to go and do your transfers instead of using the app in your phone. And some of them actually use Android phones, but they won't learn how to use that app for fear of losing their money. Okay, these gaps in knowledge, may be causing you to feel apprehensive about life in retirement. But if you have this knowledge and you put the knowledge to use, you will find that life in retirement will be a lot easier than you think, and your fears will be erased. So this is it for this video of the fears of retirees towards life in retirement. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you find the content interesting, and kindly subscribe. See you in my next video. I'm Dr. Dorothy Esse. Bye-bye.